Hi all, today we are going to discuss about the gate characteristic of the SCR. In the last two classes, we have seen how to turn on the SCR. This is my SCR. So when you apply the forward biased voltage, junction J2 is reverse biased. So in order to turn on the SCR, what we will do, we will apply some gate pulse in such a way, because as this N plus layer is heavily doped, more carriers are injected into this P region. So some of these carriers will cross this junction because they act as a minority carriers for this junction. Recombination happens. Because of that, the depletion region J2 decreases. This is the cumulative action and finally it will turn on. So this is what we have seen. So today we are mainly concerned about the gate characteristics. So if you take the gate characteristic here, the gate circuit, there is some voltage that is applied to this PN junction. So it is nothing but equal to a diode. Only difference is the two layers having the different type of carrier concentration or different doping levels. And second one, the width of this P region also depends on what is the forward voltage that is applied. So along with this gate circuit, it is depending on the voltage VA also. So that's why when you take the characteristic of any SCR for a given type of doping what they want to make, because we cannot keep the exactly same doping for any two SCRs. So depending on the difference in the doping characteristics, the VA characteristics, because we know for any PN junction diode, this is V and I, the characteristic will be like this. So same thing I have reversed the scale. This is Ig versus Vg. So the curve will resemble like this. So this curve one indicates the case where less voltage is required to get the same value of the current. That means the doping is more. And second case is the here when for an SCR where the doping concentration is little less or the area is less. So in that case what happens? It will follow the curve number 2. More voltage will be required to get the same current. Agree with me? So that means we can tell that different SCR will have the diversified characteristics because of the difference in the doping levels, because no two SCRs can be manufactured in the similar way. So that's why while designing a gate triggering circuitry, the care must be taken such that so it will not maloperate or it will take care of all this undesirable scatter of the characteristics. So generally whenever we take any SCR or a thyristor, because SCR is interchangeably called as thyristor, so generally the limits are mentioned. The maximum limit of the voltage, how much is the maximum voltage that can be applied, how much is the maximum current that can be applied, and they will also mention what is the maximum value of power dissipation that can be allowed or average power dissipation that can be allowed. And along with this they will also mention what is the minimum limits of Vg and Ig for reliable turn on of the SCR, that means Vg minimum and Ig minimum. And along with this they will also mention the minimum value of a non-triggering gate voltage to avoid maloperation due to noise. Sometimes what happens, because of the spurious noise or the leakage current or the noise signals, sometimes the pulse will be applied across this PN junction diode when it is actually not required. Because of this pulse should not operate or your thyristor should not turn on unnecessarily. So that's why you have to take care that always your noise or whatever spurious noise or anything that is coming due to whatever reasons, that should be less than the maximum value of non-triggering gate voltage. Because if it is more than this, if the temperature is more, because of minority carriers will be increased with the temperature, we have seen in our previous lectures, it may maloperate or it may turn on because of that voltage. So if you are taking the gate circuit, we know that the voltage source of the circuit can be represented by a ideal source in series with the source resistance. Agree with me? So from this I can calculate my value of Ig and Vg. This I can write in the form Es is equal to Vg. Vg is the voltage applied across this diode, plus Ig is the current passing through this gate circuit. So Ig multiplied by Rs is the source resistance. So now this Rs is not in our hands because practically it can be very less or very more. But the disadvantage comes once the thyristor is turned on, it will act as a closed switch, that means nearly zero resistance once the current is completely spread. So the current or the short circuit current or the current under on conditions will be Es divided by Rs. So if that Rs is very less, the current will be very high. So that current may damage either your PN junction diode, that means junction J3, or it may damage your source circuit, because source may not be able to supply that much of current. That means the rating of this battery is less than that. So that's why if required, some external resistance will be inserted in order to increase the effective value of the Rs. That means if Rs is very less, we will insert some external resistance here. So total resistance will be that small value of Rs plus external resistance, that we take as resultant value of Rs, so that the current will not cross the limit. So now coming to the characteristics, how to draw and how to design the external resistance and other things. So I have told you that the characteristic can lie either 1 or 2. We have to design that it will work for all conditions, and along with that they will also mention the average power that is permitted for each type of thyristor. So that average power characteristic I am drawing here, and they will mention what is the maximum value of the voltage, maximum value of the current. So what we will do, from the maximum value of the current characteristic, draw vertical dots. So you can see that it is intersecting this lower curve or the curve 1 at point F. From F draw a vertical line. So that will intersect PG average at a point. So that point I am taking by E. So similarly, from the maximum voltage I will draw the line. So this line will intersect this maximum, this characteristic, that means characteristic number 2 at point C. From there you continue the horizontal line, it will intersect PG average at point D. So similarly, they will mention the minimum value of voltage and current required. Minimum value of voltage is OY and minimum value of current is OX. So from the X I extend the line, from Y I extend the line, both are intersecting here. So we can tell that our circuit should be designed, or the gate circuit should be designed like that. It should be within this limit of this characteristic. That means it should be within B, C, D, E, F, G, H, B. Within this area only the characteristic should be lie, so that it will not maloperate, it will operate properly, and at the same time it will not cross the maximum power limit. If the maximum power limit is crossed, it may damage, or maximum voltage is crossed also it may damage, maximum current also it will damage. So that's why your operating characteristic should be lie within this region. So how we will design the operating characteristic? So that operating point for designing, so we know the source resistance plus external resistance included, I am representing by RS. So under open circuit condition the voltage is equal to ES, and when the thyristor is turned on, the current is only limited by RS. So that we can call as short circuit current, that is equal to ES divided by RS. Agree with me that ES divided by RS I am representing point D, ES is point A, draw a line joining these two. So that represents the load line. So that represents the load line. This load line is intersecting this curve 2 at S2 and curve 1 it is intersecting at S1. So depending on your SCR characteristics, because each SCR the characteristic may be between these two, anywhere in between. So that means your operating point will lie anywhere between these points S1 and S2 within this line. So let us assume my SCR is having a characteristic of 3. So it is intersecting at the point S. So my operating point for this one is S. So now the value of the RS plus external resistance should be selected in such a way that this operating point should be as near to the PG average as possible, and at the same time it should not cross the value of the IGM or VGM. That means within this region it should be there, and it should be as near to the PG average as possible. So what is the requirement of this one? We know that more the value of the current that is supplied, so more carriers are injected, so the SCR will turn on at a faster rate. So that we have already discussed in our last class, you can please refer there. So more the current, the SCR can turn on at a faster rate. Turn on time can be decreased if the value of the gate current is increased. So let us see what is the minimum value of the source resistance that is permitted. So in order to get the minimum value of source resistance, because the power is the major limit that is limiting, so from point A draw a tangent to this average power line. Draw a tangent to average power line from point number A. So from this I have drawn the straight line. This is intersecting at point number C, for example. Now the slope of this line, because it is nothing but the ratio of voltage by current only, it indicates the minimum value of the RS that is permitted. Generally the RS is taken more than this minimum value, and at the same time as near to PG average as possible. So this thing you have to observe. So here this OA indicates non-triggering gate voltage, maximum non-triggering gate voltage that is permitted. So now I am proceeding further. So operating point S must be between S1 and S2 and as close to PG average as possible. Since the SCR is a charge control device, so by employing the higher gate current, turn on time can be reduced. So in order to increase the maximum value of the current, so the turn on time can be decreased. So instead of going for the continuous current, when the continuous current is there, the power loss will be equal to the voltage VG multiplied by IG. But instead of that, what we will go for the pulse triggering. That means we will apply a series of pulses. Whenever you are applying the series of pulses, the power is generated only during this time. That means between 0 to T1. Between T1 to T, no power is dissipated. So the average power, if you are taking, even though the instantaneous power generated is more, but average power dissipated will decrease because of this one. Or we can tell that for the given limit of the average power dissipation, so we can increase the height of this pulse. We can increase the magnitude of the pulse because we are breaking for some time. So that's why pulse triggering is preferred compared to the continuous triggering, as it allows to employ higher values of the gate current for the same power loss and heat dissipation. So that average power I can represent by PG average will be equal to duty cycle times of PG maximum, where duty cycle is the ratio of T1 divided by T. Duty cycle is a ratio of T1 divided by T. So if you want to calculate the power dissipation, so voltage multiplied by current, let us assume both have the same type of characteristic, voltage pulse and current pulse. So in this case, only for this much duration heat is produced or power is generated. This much duration there is no heat or power dissipation is there. So if you want to calculate the average value will be equal to, it will be same 1 by T times of PGM multiplied by T1. Let us assume peak power or the power that is generated, PGM I am representing at this point, multiplied by how much duration it is there, that is duration T1. So same thing, it will be T1 multiplied by F, or we can tell that PG average is equal to F into, F is the frequency, that means the pulse or switching frequency, multiplied by T1 is the duration for which the pulse is on, multiplied by PG maximum, that is mentioned in your nameplate details or mentioned in the SCR, that nameplate details. So this PG average in practice should be less than this delta times of PGM, so that avoid the damage of your circuit. So let us take one example to avoid the confusion of these things. So let us assume in the SCR that sheet they have mentioned VGM is equal to 10 volts, IGM is equal to 2 amperes, PGM is mentioned as 5 watts. That means the power should not cross the 5 watts. So what is this 5 watts? Let us take the case of continuous triggering. For continuous triggering, in order to generate this power, it is nothing but equal to VG multiplied by IG. So this VG multiplied by IG should be 5 watts only, and this VG and IG are selected in such a way, this VG should not cross 10 volts and at the same time IG should not cross 2 amperes. Accordingly, you have to select the operating points. So instead of going for the continuous, if you are going for the pulse triggering, so automatically to generate the same average power, or in order to generate the same average power, so automatically we can increase the magnitude of VG and IG. We can increase the magnitude of VG and IG. Let us take it as VG average, that is mentioned. So let us take two numericals to understand this concept completely clearly. So the triggering circuit of the thyristor has a source voltage of 15 volts and the load line has a slope of minus 120 volts per ampere. The minimum gate current to turn on the SCR is 25 milliamperes. Compute the source resistance required in the gate circuit and triggering voltage and triggering current for average gate current dissipation of 0.4 watts. So here let us try to solve it. What is the given data? The given data is given. The source voltage is mentioned as 15 volts because that is mentioned here, and similarly the slope of the load line is mentioned as minus 120 volts per ampere. So if you are taking the characteristics, this is my IG versus VG. So this is my load line characteristics. So this is mentioned as minus 120 volts per ampere. We know this slope indicates the resistance only. So RS is equal to 120, and the minimum value of gate current is mentioned as 25 milliamperes, and it is also mentioned the average power dissipation is 0.4. Average power dissipation is 0.4. We know this average power dissipation is nothing but, because we are not going for the pulse triggering, we are first going for the normal triggering only. That means continuous pulse is applied. This will be equal to VG multiplied by IG. So we have to calculate the VG as well as IG. So let us see one by one. So we know that the value of ES is equal to VG plus IG into RS. So ES is given 15. VG is not known to us, but from this we can tell that VG is nothing but PG average divided by IG. Agree with me? So PG average is 0.4 divided by IG plus IG multiplied by RS. RS is mentioned as 120 from the slope. I have substituted here. So this will be in the form 120 IG square minus 15 Ig plus 0.4 is equal to 0. So from this, if you solve, the value of Ig is getting two values. One is 86 milliamperes, another one is 38 milliamperes. So out of this, I have told you before that we have to select the maximum possible current so that the turn on time can be decreased. So this is the maximum permissible value. So I will take this 86 milliamperes as my Ig value. So now I can calculate Vg is equal to power divided by Ig. So this is 0.4 divided by 0.086. This will be equal to 4.62 volts. So therefore, we can summarize that the value of Rs obtained is 120 ohms, Vg is 4.62 volts, and the value of Ig is equal to 86 milliamperes. So let us see one example for the case of pulse triggering, so that also will be completely clear to you. So for an SCR, the gate to cathode characteristic is given by a straight line slope of 120 volts per ampere. What is the meaning of this? The VI characteristics they are telling is a straight line. That means it is having linear VI characteristics passing through the origin. The turn on time is 4 microseconds. The turn on time is mentioned T1 is equal to 4 microseconds. Vg by Ig characteristic they have mentioned as 20 volts per ampere up to here. So now, and the gate current required to turn on is 400 milliamperes. That means the gate current that is required is 400 milliamperes. If the gate to source voltage is 15 volts, that means ES is mentioned as 15 volts. It is asked calculate the resistance to be connected in series and gate power dissipation. How much value of the resistance should be connected in series to limit the current, and what is the gate power dissipation under those conditions. So then the part B, given that the pulse width is equal to turn on time, the pulse width is equal to the turn on time. Always generally the pulse width should be always greater than or equal to turn on time to avoid the mal-operation. That means sometimes it will fail to turn on if it is less than that. And Pg average is equal to 0.2 watts. The average power dissipation is mentioned. Compute the maximum triggering frequency that will be possible when pulse firing is employed. So let us solve one by one. So from the given data, we can tell the value of Vg is equal to, Vg by Ig is equal to 20 volts per ampere. From this I can write Vg is equal to 20 times of Ig. So Ig is already given 4 microseconds. Sorry, 400 milliamperes is mentioned here. So 400 milli means 0.4. This is 20 multiplied by 0.4. This is equal to 8 volts. Now coming to the ES, we know ES is equal to Vg plus Ig into Rs. So 15 is equal to Vg is 8 plus Ig. Ig is 0.4 multiplied by Rs. Rs is not known. So we solve it, we get the value of Rs is equal to 17.5 ohms. So the power P will be equal to Vg multiplied by Ig. This is equal to 8 multiplied by 0.4, which is equal to 3.2 watts. So now coming to the part B, so Pg average is mentioned 0.2 watts, and it is also mentioned T1 is equal to turn on time is 4 microseconds, and Pg average is equal to F multiplied by T1 multiplied by Pgm. This we have already seen. So this will be equal to 0.2 is equal to F into 4 into 10 to the power of minus 6 into 3.2. That means the F is equal to 15.625 kilohertz. F will be equal to, or the frequency of the switching pulses can be 15.625 kilohertz. So in this way you have to solve the things. I hope that what is the gate characteristic of the SCR and how to design the pulse triggering pulses or pulse triggering is completely clear to you. If you still have any queries, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. I will answer to your queries from there. Thank you very much.